Hello and welcome back to my channel. Jacob here, and today I'm going to be talking about Paul Trembley's horror novel, The Disappearance at Devil's Rock. Paul Trembley is the author of Head Full of Ghosts. This is also the first Paul Trembley book that I read, and I will say that I could not put this book down. I absolutely devoured this book in really, I think, 2 sittings, mostly because it is a mystery book at heart, and I love a good mystery. And I will, of course, read for you guys the description. Late one summer night, Elizabeth Sanderson receives the devastating news that every mother fears. Her 13-year-old son, Tommy, has vanished without a trace in the woods of a nearby state park. The search isn't yielding any answers, and Elizabeth and her 11-year-old daughter, Kate, struggle to comprehend Tommy's disappearance. Feeling helpless and alone, their sorrow is compounded by anger and frustration. Neither the state nor local police have uncovered any leads. Josh and Luis, the friends who were the last to see Tommy before he vanished, may not be telling the whole truth about the night in Borderland State Park, when they were supposedly hanging out at a landmark they have renamed Devil's Rock. Living in an all-too-real nightmare, Elizabeth is wholly unprepared for the strange series of events that follows. She believes a wraith-like apparition of Tommy materializes in her bedroom, while Kate and other local residents claim to see a shadowy figure peering through their windows in the dead of night. Then random pages torn from Tommy's journals begin to mysteriously appear, entries that reveal an introverted teenager obsessed with the phantasmagoric, the loss of his father, killed in a drunk driving accident a decade earlier, a folk tale involving the devil in the woods of Borderland, the coming zombie pocket clips. It says pocket clips, I promise you that I can pronounce apocalypse and I'm not pronouncing that wrong. And a horrific incident that Tommy believed connected them all. As the search grows more desperate and the implications of what happened become more ominous and sinister, no one is prepared for the shocking truth about that night at Devil's Rock. I really like this book. It is... how do I put this? It's much more of a mystery than a straight-up horror novel, but it is also very much a horror novel. Essentially, if you didn't get from the description, her son has disappeared, and a ghost that she believes is his is kind of helping her solve the mystery of what actually happened to him. Now, he is a teenager, and one of the things I liked about... some of the interactions, especially with Tommy's friends that happened in this book, is they felt very real. Just kind of the way that teens lie about bad things that happened because they themselves are afraid to get in trouble or don't understand the major implications of them, which is frustrating, but also made this mystery that much more believable, in my opinion. I very much liked... Oh man, how do I put this? I liked everything about this. I don't want to spoil it because it is very much a mystery book. The folklore and other things in this book very much make it feel like, it was very hard to figure out what happened. I'm usually pretty good at guessing the endings of mystery books. I could not guess the ending of this book because, it keeps you guessing in the way that you don't know if what happened to Tommy was maybe caused by a real person, or was it a supernatural event? And that's the reason, something bad happened to Tommy and his friends. So we really kind of get to see Elizabeth struggling and trying to get to the bottom of this, and really fighting an uphill battle against all these different things, while also kind of realizing that maybe she didn't know her teenage son as well as she thought she did, which is probably a realization a lot of parents have at some point. This comes out in Tommy's journal in these missing pages, and she's kind of on the hunt to find out, more about it and what happened, what was so horrible that Tommy didn't even want to remember it in his journal. And there's a lot of things that I thought it could have been, and I was pleasantly surprised by the end because I definitely did not guess at all the reason those pages were torn out. So if you are looking for a good horror mystery book, or you haven't read Paul Trembley and you're looking for an entryway into Paul Trembley books, I highly recommend The Disappearance at Devil's Rock. This was a very fun book. I absolutely devoured it. Like I said, in 2 sittings. I was anxious to figure out what exactly happened to Tommy that night in the forest. Because we also don't know, you know, the ghost or what she believes is a ghost. Is it Tommy at all? Is it someone else? I mean, there's so many mysteries in this book, and like I said, it'll keep you guessing to the very end. And the ending of this book was, yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but it was a very good ending. It was a very good horror book. And yeah, like I said, I don't want to spoil it, but I do highly recommend getting this book, reading this book. If you haven't read Paul Trembley, great entry point. I have not read Head Full of Ghosts. I've heard really good things about that. I do plan on reading that at some point. Back here on the shelf, I have his short story collection, Growing Things, which I think also features a couple of novellas. I plan to devour at some point this year. My TBR is kind of over the top. But yeah, if you've read this book, liked this book, or dislike this book, let me know in the comments. And as always, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.